When a ruthless cartel resurfaces, a deadly assassin, Zoe Saldana, is forced out of hiding, but this time she's not alone. An ex-mercenary, Jason Statham, joins the fight. As they uncover a shocking conspiracy, betrayal lurks in the shadows. Will they take down the syndicate, or will the past consume them first? Colombiana 2, an action-packed thriller filled with explosive twists and relentless vengeance. Catalea Restrepo thought she had left her past behind. After years of being one of the most feared assassins in the world, she vanished, living under a new identity in the quiet corners of Europe. But peace was never meant for someone like her. When whispers of a cartel resurgence reached her ears, she knew the ghosts of her past were calling. The man leading them, Esteban Ruiz, was the one who had eluded her years ago, the one responsible for the death of her family. Now he was back, more powerful than ever, and if Catalea didn't act, the cycle of blood would never end. She wasn't alone this time. Enter Damien Kane, a former British mercenary with a reputation that rivaled her own. Kane had his own vendetta against the cartel, a personal tragedy buried beneath years of classified missions and government betrayals. When their paths crossed in Paris, it was clear that fate had pulled them together. At first, trust was out of the question. Catalea worked alone. Kane had always been a lone wolf, but survival demanded cooperation. And they both knew that in the world of shadows, alliances were the only way to stay alive. Their first mission led them to Madrid, where a high-ranking cartel lieutenant, Ramiro Vargas, was hiding under the protection of corrupt officials. Posing as a wealthy arms dealer, Kane infiltrated a lavish underground club where Vargas operated. Catalea, ever the silent predator, slipped through the back corridors, taking out guards with precision. But something was wrong. The intel had been too easy to find, the security too predictable. It was a trap. As the alarms blared and automatic gunfire ripped through the club, Catalea and Kane fought their way out, barely escaping with their lives. Vargas was dead, but his final words haunted them. "You're already too late. Ruiz knew you were coming." With every step closer to Ruiz, the danger escalated. Their next target was a corrupt banker in Zurich, the cartel's financial brain. They needed him alive. Breaking into his heavily fortified estate was the easy part. Getting him to talk was another matter. Kane preferred the brutal approach, but Catalea knew fear was a better weapon than pain. She whispered nightmares into the banker's ear, painting vivid pictures of what would happen to his family if he didn't cooperate. In the end, he cracked, revealing Ruiz's location, a fortress deep in the jungles of Colombia. But before they could leave, the estate was swarmed by elite assassins. The cartel was always one step ahead. Betrayal came from within. One of Kane's old contacts, a CIA operative named Wallace, had sold them out. He had been playing both sides, feeding Ruiz information in exchange for a cut of the cartel's billion-dollar empire. The ambush was ruthless. Kane was shot, but not fatally. Catalea dragged him out of the fire, pushing past her own wounds. They barely made it out, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. There was no more running. It was time to end this. In the heart of the Colombian jungle, the final battle awaited. Ruiz had built his empire on fear, and now he sat atop it, waiting for them to come. The fortress was impenetrable, surrounded by mercenaries, drones, and traps designed to kill even the most skilled operatives. But Catalea and Kane were not ordinary assassins. Under the cover of night, they infiltrated the compound, taking down guards with ruthless efficiency. Every hallway was a battlefield, every corner a potential death trap. They had one objective: get to Ruiz and make him pay. The showdown was brutal. Ruiz, a man who had spent his life in the shadows, was not going down without a fight. When they finally reached him, he was surrounded by his personal guards, armed to the teeth. But Catalea had waited too long for this moment. With Kane covering her, she faced Ruiz head-on, their fight a whirlwind of fists, blades, and gunfire. In the end, it wasn't a bullet that killed Ruiz. It was the weight of his sins. Catalea made sure he knew why he was dying. "This is for my family," she whispered as she delivered the final blow. As the compound burned behind them, Catalea and Kane knew there would always be another enemy, another war waiting in the darkness. But for now, vengeance had been served. The past no longer controlled them. They walked away, not as lost souls seeking redemption, but as warriors who had found their own way out of the shadows. The world would never know their names, but their legend would live on.